van Gijn is a historic Dutch townhouse in the city of Dordrecht, built in the early 18th century. It has been preserved as a museum showcasing a rich collection of antiques, artworks, and furnishings reflecting the tastes and lifestyles of the Dutch bourgeoisie during the Golden Age and later periods. Dordrecht itself is one of the Netherlands' oldest cities, historically a hub of trade, culture, and artistic innovation. It is with great pleasure that I present to you today a comprehensive examination of House van Gijn, one of the Netherlands' most evocative cultural treasures. Nestled along the serene canals of Dordrecht, this house transcends its function as a mere residence. It is a gesamtkunstwerk, a total work of art, where architecture, design, and collecting practices intertwine to narrate centuries of Dutch art history and bourgeois identity. Dordrecht, one of the oldest cities in the Netherlands, was a thriving mercantile hub in the Golden Age and has long been a crucible of artistic and intellectual ferment. House van Gijn embodies this heritage through its physical fabric and its remarkable contents, preserved largely intact since the late 19th century. Providing a rare window into the tastes and cultural ideals of a prominent Dutch patrician family. Simon van Gijn, a 19th century textile merchant, collector, and connoisseur, took this house as his canvas, enriching it with art, antique furnishings, and design choices that celebrate and perpetuate Dutch artistic traditions. This video will explore the architectural evolution of the house, the design ethos of its interiors, the depth and breadth of Van Gijn's collections, and the house's enduring cultural significance within Dordrecht and the broader art historical discourse. The house's architecture shows us how homes were built in the 1700s in Dutch cities like Dordrecht, combining local building traditions and international influences. It also reflects the social status and networks of its owners. House van Gijn, constructed in 1729, originally served as a stately canal-side residence in Dordrecht, reflecting the architectural sensibilities of the Dutch Republic's mercantile elite. Its transformation under Simon van Gijn between 1886 and 1889, guided by architect Constantin Muiscaan, exemplifies the 19th century historicist movement. Muiscaan's renovations were not mere restorations but deliberate reinterpretations, integrating elements from various historical periods to create a cohesive aesthetic narrative. For instance, 17th century chimney pieces from demolished Dordrecht houses were installed in the library and study, embodying the practice of architectural spolia and preserving historical continuity. What sets House van Gijn apart is its fidelity to the spirit of its era. Unlike many historic houses restored with a modern museum logic, Van Gijn's residence retains the ambience of a home, where creaking floors, filtered sunlight, and hidden staircases preserve the rhythms of daily life. Let us now journey through this house, from cellar to attic, room by room, story by story. Ground floor, the heart of the house. Main hallway. The entrance hall is an axis between formality and domesticity. Terrazzo floors meet walnut paneling, while brass umbrella stands and a central lantern recall an age of gaslight and good manners. The hallway connects all key areas on the ground floor and subtly signals the family's social standing. The original 18th century structure of the house, built 1729, remains visible in its symmetry and Baroque flourishes. Although later 19th century updates refined the decor to suit Simon van Gijn's more eclectic historicist taste. The tapestry room or visitor's room. To the front right of the entrance lies the tapestry room, originally constructed in 1729 and later restored to reflect its Rococo character. This was the formal receiving room for guests of status and the first impression many had of the house's grandeur. The room features silk damask wall coverings and antique tapestries, some dating to the late 18th century, depicting pastoral scenes in the tradition of French toiles de Jouy. Delicate gilt mirrors and chandeliers amplify the natural light, while a corner cabinet may contain Meissen porcelain or family silver. Historically, rooms like these served not just to welcome guests but to display cultural capital, evidence of learning, travel, and refined taste. The salon for dining guests. Opposite the tapestry room is the salon, a space used for pre-dinner conversation or for entertaining long-term guests. Furnishings in the style of Louis XVI, a richly carved mantelpiece, and walls adorned with family portraits imbue the space with warmth. It is in this room that music, especially piano or violin pieces, might have accompanied conversations about politics, travel, or theology, common dinner topics for Dordrecht's upper middle class. Dining room and serra or conservatory. The dining room sits centrally along the garden side and is the ceremonial hub of the home. Its long mahogany table is set beneath an elaborate chandelier, with high-backed chairs arranged to encourage formal posture and conversation. The walls may feature painted panels or still-life prints from Van Gijn's own collection. Attached is the serra, a glass conservatory that floods the back of the house with natural light. Introduced in the 19th century as a fashionable addition, the serra was often used for morning tea, botanical display, or informal meals. Here, the indoors met the outdoors, an embodiment of the 19th century Dutch appreciation for horticulture and controlled nature. The garden room. Tucked in the rear, the garden room was a more intimate space used for personal friends and close family. Piano music, card games, and private discussions animated this room. Its view into the walled garden offered a retreat from city life. Floral wallpapers, lighter upholstery, and decorative ceramics reflect a more relaxed, feminine touch. This was a space of conviviality, emotion, and repose. The kitchen and cellar. Down a short corridor lies the kitchen, a functional yet evocative room where servants prepared meals using cast iron stoves and hand-pumped water. Copper pans, hanging herbs, and Delft tiles evoke a pre-industrial rhythm of domestic labor. Below, the cellar stored wines, preserves, and firewood. Scientific understanding of nutrition, storage, and hygiene was emerging during this time, influencing how kitchens were laid out, with efficiency and cleanliness increasingly emphasized in bourgeois households. Modern amenities were seamlessly integrated into the historical framework, with the installation of gas lighting, central heating, and a bathroom equipped with hot and cold running water, aligning with the 19th century concept of comfort moderne. Recent advances in dendrochronology have refined our dating of the house van Gijn timber, allowing precise correlations with regional forest management practices documented in the 18th century. The integration of 3D laser scanning combined with photogrammetry and AI-driven pattern recognition is enabling a level of digital reconstruction that informs conservation strategy on a molecular level, identifying stress points in original timber and brickwork. Studies of microclimate effects in urban Dutch heritage sites indicate that House van Gijn's brickwork composition and lime-based mortars exemplify adaptive engineering to humid riverine. These data intersect with actor network theory frameworks to analyze the house as a socio-material node within Dordrecht's mercantile networks, underscoring how architectural form encodes social relations, trade links, and environmental adaptation. Pioneering research on virtual heritage through AI simulations is shaping the future of immersive architectural historiography, with House van Gijn serving as a crucial case study. The interiors of House van Gijn serve as a microcosm of 19th century Dutch bourgeois taste, characterized by a reverence for historical styles and an aspiration for cultural refinement. Each room was meticulously curated to reflect specific aesthetic and functional considerations, resulting in a harmonious blend of form and function. First floor, the family's private quarters. Hallway, study, and leather sitting room. A long hallway connects the bedrooms with two of the house's intellectual power centers. The study room, lined with bookshelves and natural history prints, was where Van Gijn or his guests might engage in research or letter writing. This space is emblematic of the 19th century Dutch scholar-collector, where law, theology, and classical literature coexisted on one's desk. The library and study further illustrate the interplay between historical authenticity and contemporary adaptation. While the rooms incorporate original 17th century elements, such as chimney pieces, the furnishings are 19th century reproductions of earlier styles. This synthesis reflects the period's fascination with historical revivalism and the desire to create environments that resonate with cultural memory. The green bedroom features pistachio-hued silk wallpaper, a high curtain bed, and empire-style furniture. It was likely used by either family members or esteemed overnight guests. The color green was historically associated with tranquility and cleanliness, appropriate for a room of rest. The veloute bedroom, named after its soft velvety upholstery and tones, is paired with a private boudoir and bathroom, a rare luxury in 19th century homes. The boudoir would serve as a lady's personal retreat, with writing desk, embroidery kits, and possibly a fainting couch. The bathroom, likely updated in the early 20th century, reflects the growing influence of hygienism, the movement that emphasized regular bathing, ventilation, and sanitation in domestic design. Simon van Gijn's extensive collections encapsulate the breadth and depth of Dutch artistic and cultural heritage. His assemblage encompasses a diverse array of objects, including paintings, prints, ceramics, silverware, furniture, and more. Each selected with a discerning eye for quality and historical significance. The painting collection features works by Dutch masters, such as a still life with Nepenthes by Peter Claesson, and portraits of prominent figures like Jan and Cornelis de Witt. These artworks not only exemplify the technical prowess of their creators but also serve as visual narratives of the Netherlands' rich history. Van Gijn's interest in decorative arts is evident in his collection of Delftware, including plates, jugs, and vases from renowned factories like de Porcelain Claw and de Vergold Bloempot. These pieces, characterized by their intricate designs and vibrant glazes, reflect the global influences and domestic innovations that define Dutch ceramic production. The collection also includes an array of timepieces, from ornate mantel clocks to long-case clocks, each exemplifying the craftsmanship and technological advancements of their respective periods. Similarly, the assemblage of weapons and armor, featuring European swords and Japanese katanas, underscores Van Gijn's appreciation for martial artistry and cross-cultural exchange. Van Gijn's library, comprising rare books, prints, and manuscripts, offers invaluable insights into the intellectual currents of his time. His meticulous cataloging and preservation efforts demonstrate a scholarly commitment to safeguarding knowledge for future generations. Contemporary non-invasive spectroscopic techniques such as portable X-ray fluorescence and hyperspectral imaging have revolutionized our understanding of the House Van Gijn interiors. Multisensory ethnographic approaches reveal the embodied experience of these historic interiors, informing restoration that respects intangible heritage aspects. Material agency theories contextualize how furniture and decorative elements function as active participants in social rituals and identity performance. The second floor housed the servants, with sparse rooms containing simple bedsteads, wash basins, and perhaps devotional prints. Unlike the ornamented lower floors, these rooms were functional and modest. The linen room stored sheets, towels, and tablecloths, carefully catalogued and maintained. Next to it, the maintenance room kept tools, candles, oil lamps, and basic repairs, domestic logistics hidden behind Bourgeois. This room was the laundry center, equipped with a copper boiler and large wash basins. Washing was a labor-intensive, weekly activity. The rise of domestic chemistry, early detergents and bleaching agents, appeared in homes like this by the late 19th century. Van Gijn's printing and scribe room housed his growing collection of engravings, maps, and ex libris. Here he could work on cataloging, receive scholars, or even produce small press prints. This reflects the 19th century resurgence of graphic arts and bibliophilia, particularly in elite circles. One additional guest room on this floor accommodated visitors of lower rank or extended family. Modest yet comfortable, it speaks to the Dutch ethic of hospitality and order. The attic, a world of toys and memory. The attic, accessible via a steep wooden stair, holds a world of wonder, toys. Simon van Gijn collected 17th, 18th, and 19th century toys, dolls, mechanical automata, marionettes, paper theaters, and model trains. His interest wasn't sentimental, it was anthropological. Toys, he believed, reflected the moral and intellectual development of children, and were key to understanding society. The attic is also filled with seasonal decorations, unused furniture, and trunks full of family records, a place where time stands still. And memory is stored in the scent of old paper and waxed wood. In walking the halls of House Van Gijn, we experience more than preserved furniture or period wallpaper, we encounter a worldview. A belief in order, refinement, civic virtue, and the slow, deliberate pace of domestic life. Simon Van Gijn's story, though singular, is also emblematic. Of the Dutch bourgeoisie in the age of empire and industry, of collectors who saw their homes as encyclopedias, and of a city that bridged medieval traditions with modern sensibilities. But beyond architecture and objects, the true legacy of House Van Gijn lies in its intimacy. The daily routines, the holiday feasts, the children's play, the writing of letters by candlelight, these are the invisible threads woven into every corner. The house breathes because it remembers. And in that remembering, we are invited to rediscover what it means to live meaningfully, attentively, and beautifully. In concluding this exploration, House Van Gijn reveals itself not simply as a static monument but as a living archive, a dynamic testament to the intersection of personal taste, cultural identity, and historical preservation. As scholars, we appreciate that the house and its collections afford invaluable material culture evidence, allowing us to interrogate the broader socio-cultural and economic frameworks of 19th century Netherlands. This is a site where art historical scholarship intersects with architectural conservation, museology, and cultural studies. The preservation of the house's integrity offers a unique case study in historicist collecting practices, where a collector's agency shapes not only what is preserved but also how history is narrated through spatial and material assemblage. In the contemporary scholarly landscape, House Van Gijn challenges us to reconsider the meaning of authenticity and historicity. It stands as a model for the curatorial and conservation challenges faced by historic house museums worldwide. Moreover, Van Gijn's multidisciplinary collecting, a synthesis of paintings, decorative arts, furniture, weaponry, porcelain, and rare books underscores the increasingly interdisciplinary nature of art history today, bridging visual culture, craftsmanship, and intellectual history. For artists, the house and its contents provide a rich source of inspiration, exemplifying the nuanced relationship between artistic production and patronage, the layering of artistic traditions, and the dialogue between local Dutch art and international influences. The House Van Gijn stands as a multifaceted case study at the intersection of art, design, political history, and urban cultural development. It embodies a Gesamtkunstwerk, a German word for a total work of art where architecture, interior design, collections, and cityscape coalesce into a coherent narrative about Dutch identity and bourgeois cultural power. For art historians, conservation scientists, and cultural theorists, House Van Gijn offers a living laboratory to examine questions of provenance, materiality, and symbolic capital. For artists and creative practitioners, it serves as a vibrant source of inspiration where history and aesthetics dynamically converge. House Van Gijn remains an evolving site of research, conservation, and public education. Collaborations with universities and heritage labs continue to uncover new insights into material science, conservation ethics, and social history. Whether approached through the lens of art history, architecture, sociology, or digital heritage studies, the house proves inexhaustible in its layers of meaning. In conclusion, House Van Gijn is far more than a preserved interior or an art collection. It is a cultural organism, at once local and global, past and present, embodying the aspirations, contradictions, and continuities of Dutch bourgeois life from the 18th to the 20th century. As we walk its halls, we do not merely observe history, we inhabit it. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining me on this journey into our shared past. If today's episode sparked your curiosity about where we come from and where we're going, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel. Search for Origin. Here, history, faith, and science come together to reveal the deeper stories that shaped our world. And if you're ready to walk in the footsteps of the past yourself, I now offer exclusive museum and city tours in the Netherlands and Germany. Discover the hidden layers of art, culture, and faith with a personal guide who speaks your language and knows the ground you're walking on. To book a tour or ask questions, reach out at dukes@tonline.de, that is DJOEKS@tonline.de, or look at the information in the channel's description. Your origin story is waiting. See you all in the next episode.